Okay, what is happening, everyone? Welcome to the video. I'm very excited to share this one with you. As you can see, or as you've probably seen by the title, in this video we are going behind the scenes photographing Liverpool Premier League legend and Egyptian king Mo Salah. I recently shot him on two separate occasions, both for Vodafone. And what I'm actually going to do is mesh the behind the scenes footage from both shoots together. The first shoot was more building a bank of images for Vodafone that they can release over time. So only some of those are out. So I wanted to be able to actually show some final images. And at the end of the video, we will go over, how I planned some of the lighting for the first shoot. The second shoot, we were actually matching the lighting from when a different photographer shot the other players in Egypt. So we were just matching the lighting for that. But we'll get into that at the end of the video. Yeah, the first shoot was in London, and it's always tricky with athletes or high profile people where time is scarce. It's always interesting because you're always on a tight deadline. But today, or at least on that day in London, we had Mo for 6 hours. He was also doing an interview conversation with fellow Egyptian Sir Magdi Yaqub, who is like this legendary heart surgeon. So they were doing that, and we actually had Mo for 2 hours to do a bunch of sort of PR and editorial shots, and then I would photograph behind the scenes of the interview, and then we would do some PR shots with some of the Vodafone executives and such. On the second day, or at least the second shoot, it was somewhere around when Mo Salah had that post-match interview where he claimed that people at Liverpool were trying to throw him under the bus. So it was either just before that or just after, but I remember his form was being criticised, or at least it was under the microscope anyway. So you're never sure sort of like what attitude the talent is going to come with, especially in those difficult situations. But actually he was an absolute dream to work with on both occasions, but particularly on the second shoot where, he could have justifiably not been so enthused to be on shoot in a warehouse for 7 hours. The second day we shot off the back of a television commercial, and we had our set sort of set up to the side. You'll see it in the behind the scenes coming up. I hope that kind of gives you all a sort of well-rounded view of what is going on or what went on. For now, let's get to London, get into that behind the scenes, and have a look at how the images turned out. Alright, little update. Welcome to my little purple palace I've got going on here. We've done a recce and everything. One thing that we've had to deal with is getting an unbranded football. One thing with photo shoots is often, high quality footballs are branded with either Nike or Adidas. That can be a bit of an issue when you're dealing with high level athletes who are used to high quality balls and you're getting £10 balls off Amazon. So I got in touch with this company called Shootball, and they couriered, or we arranged for this ball to be couriered over to me at the hotel before the shoot. Little details like that will help the athlete feel more comfortable on set. So thank you so much to Shootball for helping me out here. I have tofu bagel for dinner, plenty hydration just to feel good. I also got a little thing to help me film behind the scenes. DJI released the Osmo 360 at a far superior price than the Insta360, so I want to check it out. Yeah, let me know if you want to do a breakdown. I actually haven't researched it too much. I know it's 8K, it's a 1-inch sensor. DJI is such a great name in this field now, so I just trusted them and went for it. Alright, nice Premier Inn breakfast. This hotel cost me £300 a night, but was convenient to the location. So a walk across the bridge, Big Ben in the morning, not a bad start to the day. And we loaded all the kit in, started getting it up. We had two backdrops. We had this parachute backdrop and we also had a red textured backdrop.
Just eyes closed? Yeah. Nice, Mo. Perfect. These are great. Nice. Turn your body that way a little bit as well. Because this is like this is when you've scored 3 goals basically. Yeah. I liked it when you were just like this as well on the ball. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. It's alright. Cool. One.
And that brings us up to our second shoot, which was about 6 weeks after the shoot in London, which you've just seen there. So this was for the African Cup of Nations, as I mentioned, and there was a few things to consider on this shoot. First of all, we were shooting off the back of quite a large moving image production, and what you'll find when you're doing stills in this scenario is that quite often you'll be standing around for a lot of the day. Moving image just requires a lot more time, a lot more takes, and there's a lot more moving parts to the production in that sense. So although Mo was on set for 7 hours, we had him for about, I would say, 35 to 45 minutes across 2 separate spells. In the build-up to this shoot, I'd had a lot of conversations with the client and with the photographer who had shot the rest of the Egyptian team in Cairo, I think, the previous week. He shared the lighting diagram with me in advance, so we could obviously get all the correct equipment and correct lighting and lighting modifiers, and we could match the lighting to the shots that he'd done. That way it's going to make it super simple in post-production to comp all the players together. It'll look a lot more cohesive and it'll look like they are all in the same place at the same time. So in total there were 7 lights, a lot of grids and small dishes involved in this one, as well as blues, red, orange gels as well to sort of create those highlights and those catch lights. Our key light was a beauty dish with a grid on it, which is, you know, maybe a few feet away from our subject. Something else that was really useful was having body doubles on set so we could take test frames whilst waiting for Mo. What you don't want to happen is for your talent to turn up on set, you take a couple of frames, you've been taking test shots with someone with a completely different skin complexion, and then suddenly the lights are either too bright or too dark. You're tweaking lights and the talent is left sort of standing there wondering what is going on and why you weren't ready. Obviously, I am super happy to have worked with Mo not once but twice towards the end of last year. You know, part of the reason that I do this is to be involved in shoots like this, so it was a really great way to end 2025. And also towards the end of 2025, the client sent through a bunch of the out of house stuff where, you know, they've adapted all the images for in-store and huge banners and billboards that are all around Cairo and Giza as well. And what makes it a little bit sweeter is that Egypt just made it to the semi-finals a couple of days before filming this section of the video. So thanks everyone for watching. It would be amazing if you could like this video and even subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this sort of thing. Also follow me on Instagram, where I'll be sharing a lot more behind the scenes and images from the 2 shoots in the coming weeks and months and throughout 2026. And finally, I have used the 360, or I have been using the 360 a lot more since buying it, and I've got so much behind the scenes stuff. I've got a cage on the R6 where I have this really cool setup, and I'll share that in coming videos, so make sure you are subscribed. And thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.